you can update the percentage. You can just say, and we'll come back to this later, but now we're working on resources. So we click on the tab of resources. You click on this icon here, and then which one of your team you want him or her to select the color. So let's say Terry. I would like Terry to select the color. So I'm just gonna click on Terry and say assign. Then you see it's red, exit this out. So you see Terry's name appears next to the task. Then because he's selecting the color, I want him to buy the color to the paint. So I'm just gonna say assign Terry. Then who's going to prep the ceiling I want? So double click. I want Zach to prep the ceiling. Click. And then see Zach's names here. And then I want Zach also to do the wall. Of course, this is just for demonstration purpose and not necessarily correct the practice, but just to show you how to use the features of the software. Then I've assigned that. Then who's going to do the first coat and second coat? So let's click on the first coat and say, well, I want Brandon to do the first coat. And then I want him also to do the second coat. Then first coat of walls, I want Mike to do the first coat and second coat. As you can see. And then who's going to paint the trim? I don't know, maybe Terry, because he didn't do a lot of work. So I want to assign him something to do. So that's Terry. And then for the cleanup, let's bring back, I don't know, maybe Zach after he finishes prepping and now he doesn't have anything to do. So let's assign him to do the cleanup at the end. So then if I want to zoom out, I can make this smaller. If I want to zoom in and make this bigger, if I want to compress it a little bit so I can see better, then I can just bring it back here. And that's my resources and how I assign them. Now, if you remember, we said we assign each one of them how much they get paid and the hourly or the time it takes them. So if we go to resource breakdown structure, RBS, you see here Terry, he's gonna cost us 140. Zach, he's gonna cost us 280. Brandon gonna cost us 160, and 160 Mike. There's a budget to that too if you want to designate a budget to each person. So that's something you can work on with the resource breakdown structure. Then you have the resource usage. And the resource, remember, I'm at the resource tab here. So Terry is going to select the color and buy the paint. And those 3 hours, 2 hours, 4 hours. And then he's going to paint the trims. So that's 8 hours. Those are flat. I always kind of drag this just to see if there is something also I need to see. And here it tells you the time that takes them to work. And the same thing for Zach. If you want to verify, Zach is going to prep the ceiling for 8 hours, prep the walls for 16 hours, clean up. Then you can see here you're putting more load on Zach than others. Then you can distribute the work. That's if you were to use the resource usage. So now, if you want to go back and say, well, I want to see now the network, how does it work? So that's your logic, your network logic network. And we'll talk about it, how this network typically works and the sequence of it, and if they make sense. Luckily, the software does it for us, so we don't have to do it, but we still have to practice that manually to understand the logic. Then we go to the work breakdown structure. The work breakdown structure here also does it for us. So painting the ceiling, it requires first coat and second coat. Painting the walls, first coat and second coat. So imagine for a big project, this breakdown structure will be enormous. Then the task usage, and the task usage is where you can see okay, 2 hours that will take for selecting the colors, and that will be Terry. Terry is going to work 2 hours, and how much per hour, and then multiply, factor 10, and all of that, and those are the hourly. Then we have here on this side, on the right side, top right, we have the histogram where it shows the progress, the progress of the project and how it works. You have a chart here where you can track your expenses or your progress report, and you have other options here. So then that's the Gantt chart. Trying to remember what else I should talk about here. We have a view, the other tab here, and in a view, actually, it helps to print out your report, for instance. So this is your report, painting a room, right? The start date, that's the starting date. The finish date, that's the finish date. The schedule, it takes 10 days and a half to be able to finish the project. 74 hours, right? So details that you can share, and then you can actually use this report in your project report and talk about it. Then you go to the project. Let's see what else we need to know here. Resources, that's our resources. You can always change the resources. That's it, really. Then here you can have it in a PDF, like anything, you can have it in a PDF. If this page you want to have it in PDF, you can have it in a PDF. If you want to go to task and Gantt chart, then have it in a PDF, you can also. So it offers you a lot of options. Again, this is your calendar. You can change the calendar the way you feel it's important. And that's it. It's pretty simple. So if you have any questions, let me know. First, start with laying down the tasks, then go back and refine them until you find the ideal schedule that you think it's more appropriate for your project. So with that, that's it for me. Thank you and have a good day.